Welcome to Evidence Mastery. I'm your host, Dr. Massoud Toussi. Today, we're diving headfirst into the world of real-world evidence by taking a close look at an incredible resource, the German Pharmacoepidemiological Research Database, or GePaRD for short. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start by introducing GePaRD and what makes it such a big deal. Then we'll peek behind the curtain at the data and how it's governed. After that, we're going to jump into two really powerful case studies, one on pregnancy outcomes and another on antibiotic prescribing. And finally, we'll tie it all together to really understand the massive impact of this kind of real-world evidence. All right, let's get started. First things first, what exactly is this powerful research tool? To really get a grip on GePaRD's power, you have to appreciate its sheer scale. We're talking about information on approximately 25 million individuals. Just let that sink in for a moment. That is an absolutely incredible number of health journeys captured in one place. And what this huge number means is that for any given year, the database represents about 20% of the entire German population. And, this isn't just from one small area. It covers all geographical regions, which gives it immense representative power. So, officially, GePaRD was established and is maintained by the Leibniz Institute for Prevention Research and Epidemiology, or BIPS. It's built from the claims data of Germany's statutory health insurance providers, going all the way back to 2004. Its whole purpose is to study drug use and safety out in the real world, making it an absolutely critical resource for pharmacoepidemiology.
Okay, so with a database this huge and this sensitive, you're probably wondering, how is it managed, right? How do researchers actually get access while protecting patient privacy?
Well, as you'd imagine, access is incredibly tightly controlled. It's a very careful, multi-stage approval process. First, BIPS has to apply for a permit for a specific project. Then, that needs to get the green light from the insurance providers themselves. And finally, from the governing authorities. And this last step is only granted if the public interest in the research significantly outweighs the privacy interests of individuals. This really ensures ethical and purposeful use of the data. All right, enough about the how. Let's see what this thing can actually do. Our first case study shows how it can be used not just to answer a question, but to build the very tools needed for future research. Here was the central challenge. If you're studying drug safety during pregnancy with administrative data, you first need a rock-solid way to find and classify every single pregnancy outcome. So how on earth do you do that in a database with millions of people? By using GePaRD, researchers developed and optimized an algorithm that successfully identified, get this, over 1.2 million pregnancy outcomes just between 2006 and 2014, and that includes live births, stillbirths, and abortions. And this just shows how accurate that tool is. When the algorithm's findings were compared against the manual review by clinical experts, there was a 95% agreement on both the type of outcome and the date. That's an exceptionally high level of accuracy for an automated tool. The researchers themselves said that their algorithm provides a vital foundation for all future studies in this area using GePaRD. It's a perfect example of using real-world data to build the infrastructure for years of subsequent research.
Now, our second case study really demonstrates GePaRD's power to reveal critical public health trends on a national scale.
Researchers using GePaRD analyzed outpatient antibiotic prescribing. And the good news? They found a significant overall decline of 23% between 2010 and 2018. That's from 575 prescriptions per 1,000 people down to 442. A nationwide drop is fantastic news, but it immediately raises the next critical question for public health officials. Is everyone benefiting equally? Or are there regional differences hiding inside that national average? And the answer is pretty revealing. These maps, one for children and one for adults, show a stark geographical divide. Even with the national decline, prescription rates remain stubbornly high in certain regions, particularly clustered in Western Germany. This is where the data becomes actionable. A single, one-size-fits-all approach to antibiotic stewardship just isn't enough. The small area, district-level detail from GePaRD shows exactly where interventions need to be targeted to be most effective. Okay, so let's synthesize these examples. What is the broader impact of real-world evidence, and why do databases like GePaRD matter so much to all of us in the healthcare ecosystem? Well, a resource like GePaRD empowers the entire system. It enables researchers to conduct massive drug safety studies, as we saw with the pregnancy algorithm. It allows public health officials to monitor trends with incredible precision and identify those regional disparities, like with the antibiotic prescribing patterns.
This, in turn, informs evidence-based policy and helps design targeted interventions that are both more effective and more efficient.
This really leaves us with a final thought to consider. We've seen what's possible in Germany. What public health challenges could be transformed in your own country if this level of detailed, regional, real-world insight was available?
Thank you for joining us on Evidence Mastery. If you found this topic interesting, you will find a much deeper exploration of these concepts in my upcoming book, Real-World Data: Sources and Solutions.
It will be available on Amazon.com this coming December. Thank you again for joining me.